Adrienne, and you're watching This Bittersweet Life. I also run the blog Alice Scraps Wonderland, and this is my sister Caitlin. She runs the Bella Fleur Makeup and Cleaning YouTube channel, and we both blog for This Bittersweet Life. And today we're going to show you how to make your own plush velvet pumpkins. Here are the supplies you'll need: velvet fabric, thread in coordinating colors, needle, chalk, scissors, dried pumpkin stems or driftwood, sandpaper, hot glue, rice, polyfill, and circles to trace. My sister here, Caitlin, can't sew a button on anything.
Can't sew to save my life.
And she thinks that she won't be able to do this at all, but I think she will because it's really easy. So if she can do it, you can do it.
I think I'm gonna have like a deformed pumpkin. It's gonna be like, is that a pumpkin?
We're taking bets. She's betting on a deformed pumpkin. I'm betting on a pumpkin with character because pumpkins in nature aren't perfect.
Maybe the dark color will hide the terrible sewing job.
You won't see the sewing. You actually won't see the sewing because let me show you. The stem covers all of your sewing.
Okay.
So you won't see any sewing. You'll just see this nice gathered look.
Okay.
And we'll be even creating, the only place where you'll see some sewing is if you turn your pumpkin over on the bottom. You create cute little dimples in the bottom.
Okay.
It's really simple.
Okay.
Okay, so. Okay. The pumpkin that you make ends up being about half the size and diameter from your starting circle.
Where did you find this fabric?
So we found this fabric online on Amazon, and we'll leave a link to that in our blog, which the link to our blog will be below this video. So, I'm just gonna kind of get that fabric nice and straightened out so that we don't have any wrinkles or weird things going on. And these circles don't need to be perfect. And you're gonna wanna draw these circles on the back side of your velvet so you aren't cleaning chalk off your pumpkin. And it doesn't need to be perfect cutting because like I said, you won't see any of the mess. It'll be covered up.
Terrible cutter.
So I'll let you finish cutting that one and I'll get started on one so we can do one together. So you're going to want a really long amount of thread. So usually,
is it better to have more than
it's better to have more than not enough.
Okay. Okay.
And you're going to thread it through your needle. I've got the needle threader if you need it. Oh, let's try.
My first sewing experience?
Your first sewing experience. You're not knotting it. Not like a shoelace. Okay. Oh my god.
Well, that's my first sewing.
You do.
That's what I did my first sewing experience.
Well.
How are we gonna fix it?
Okay.
Well,
Cut it off like that.
that's probably why my first sewing experience went terrible. I tried to reinforce the button on the back of one of my rompers, and good thing the romper is black because it looked terrible.
So, working from the back side of your fabric again. You're just gonna come right along the edge and you're gonna stick your needle in and then, you know, like a 1/4 of an inch, bring your needle back through. And we're just gonna make loose stitches. So you're gonna pull your thread all the way through till you hit the knot. we're gonna go around the whole pumpkin circle. You can make the stitches as far or as close apart as you want. It just kind of depends on how you want the gathering to look. And it doesn't have to be even when you're making these stitches. So you may come to a point where you feel like you've run out of thread, like I have this much left to sew. My knot's here and my needle is over here. But you're gonna be gathering this. So just go ahead and kind of give just a little tug and start to gather, and then you'll have more thread to work with. And you can finish sewing off your pumpkin. Our blog covers a whole lot of things, just life, lots of recipes that we find on Pinterest that we try out. Caitlin really likes crock pot recipes. I love making dessert. We do lots of, trial and error on recipes, what we have found on Pinterest that we think it works and is good. We do some home decor. So those are the kind of things that we do on our blog. And we'll do the occasional video when we have some kind of tutorial that we think works better in video to show you guys. And then coming up in October, we have some really cool blog posts. I know one of them is also going to include a video tutorial. Halloween is one of my favorite holidays. We turned our house into a bed and breakfast, and so we'll be doing a home tour and show you how I made one of the decor items for outside, actually. So we'll be doing a video on that. So that'll be coming up in October. All right, so you are done. Did you end up on the inside of your pumpkin?
Yes.
Okay, fabulous. No, that's where you want. We want to end on the unfinished non-velvet side, so the back side of your fabric. And what we're gonna do is you're kind of start to gather it just a little bit. We don't want to close it all the way up, but we want to kind of start to create that drawstring purse type of action. And you're just going to kind of gently tug until you get it mostly closed. And you can always reopen it a little bit, because what we're going to do is we're going to stuff these babies.
This looks like a shower cap.
Yes, it does look like a shower cap. So, you can see I've kind of created a nice little shower cap or drawstring purse there. And we aren't going to worry about any of these raw edges because those will all be hidden by the pumpkin stem. There we go. All right, so we'll just open it back up. Yeah, so you have a little pouch. And we're just gonna kind of keep that open just a little bit, and right in the very bottom of the center, we're gonna stick in, we need our rice there. We'll grab this. Depending on how big your pumpkin is how much rice or dried beans you put in there, but just like a little handful. This is a 1/4 cup. I'm not filling it up all the way. I'm just gonna add just a little bit more. So I'll let you put some rice inside your little pouch there. And this will just kind of help weigh it down just a little bit. And then the fun part. This is just your basic polyfill that you can find back in your sewing section. You can use to make stuffed toys, dolls, all that stuff. So we're just going to just tear off a little handful, and we are just going to fill these pumpkins up. And it doesn't matter if you want a lesser filled pumpkin, if you really want to fill it up, it just kind of depends on the look you're going for, but you do want to give it a nice, good amount of stuffing. And then you can kind of test to see how it'll look by kind of pulling your drawstring closed again. I think mine needs a little bit more still, at least on this one side. It looks a little... You definitely need more. Fill that up, girlfriend. We got the rest of this bag. We can always go and get more if we want to make more pumpkins. And you will want to make more pumpkins after you make one because you'll become addicted. I was. I don't know how many little pumpkins I made from that one remnant scrap.
This is therapeutic.
It is therapeutic.
Stuffing the fabric. Stuffing it.
Give it some more, girl.
I quite like this color.
You quite like that color?
This is very peachy looking.
Yeah, we thought these two colors together were kind of beach glassy.
Yeah, they are.
So you'll get these two pumpkins. Look, how's that?
Yeah.
And you can see I've still got my long thread here. You don't want to cut that off yet. He's got a little character. I love pumpkins with character. Once you get your pumpkin stuffed the way you like, then you're gonna pull this nice and close. You want that hole there to be as small as possible. So you'll probably get, a little bit. Like you can see there's a little hole in mine right there. It's about the width of my finger. And we're just gonna close that off with some stitching. So you got it pulled nice and tight.
Yeah.
But what we're gonna do is stitch across. So we're gonna close up this hole. There we go. And we're gonna pull that nice and taut. And you're just gonna go back and forth a couple this time. We're just gonna make kind of like a giant X to help kind of close that pumpkin off, keeping it as tight as possible the whole time that you're doing this, so that when we put the stem on, it'll cover all of this up. So you don't need to be neat or anything. And then once you've done this to close off your pumpkin, you don't want to cut your thread yet because we're going to use it to make a little dimple in the bottom.
So when Adrian first showed me these, I thought she bought the pumpkin at the store and covered it with velvet. And she told me she sewed them.
That looks good.
Is that good?
I think that looks good, yeah. Yeah, that looks good. Okay, so the next step, what we're gonna do is, these are pretty big pumpkins. If you have smaller ones, you can use one hand, but we're gonna push down in the center of the pumpkin, and then you're gonna find the center of the pumpkin on the bottom, and we're going to take our thread, and you're gonna have to push it together pretty big. You can use, if you have like longer needles, you might need it for a really large pumpkin. But you're just gonna you might stab yourself in the bottom like that. So, there we go. So you want your needle to come through on the bottom.
Okay.
Did you get it through the bottom? Okay, pull it all the way through. Okay, so we've got it all the way through. And then you're just a tiny little space in between, like maybe not even quite a quarter of an inch. It's like a couple millimeters, really. And we're gonna stick it back through, and you're gonna bring it back up through the center of your pumpkin on the top side. And you're gonna pull that, and that's gonna create that kind of nice little dimple in the bottom, and it's gonna give you kind of that, I don't know if you have ever seen those really cool looking kind of blue-green pumpkins. Yes, they do exist. They don't come in just orange or white. They kind of are saucer shaped. They're really cool looking. So that's kind of what these look like. And that'll give you kind of that. And you could skip the dimple step if you want. If you like a nice tall pumpkin, you could skip that step. But I kind of like it because they do have those little dimples down there, and it kind of gives it some more character. So you can do that a couple of times by going down through the center of your pumpkin. You'll want to do it like 2 or 3, 4 times maybe. And you'll kind of want to continue to go, you know, poke it through to about the same place. That's the hard. This is probably the hardest part.
Can't find any.
That's okay. I've stabbed myself a couple times with the. You'll probably stab yourself a couple times doing this. Just pull it nice and taut. There you go. So look at that.
Oh.
Yeah. Okay. So now that you've got it pulled nice and tight, you want to keep it pulled nice and tight. Did you do it a couple times, like 2 at least?
I think so.
I did mine twice. So pull it nice and tight, and then you're just gonna, here, I'll let you watch. Just gonna kind of put your needle through just a little bit of the fabric, because we're gonna tie off this fabric, or tie off the knot now. So I've kind of put it through. You wanna stick your needle through that loop, and you're gonna pull. And we're just gonna do that a couple of times. You want to make sure that very first time you keep your thread nice and pulled so that dimple stays. So you stick it through some fabric, then you're going to pull just before you finish pulling through the loop. Yep, go ahead, pull it through the loop, and then pull nice and tight. So, now, my scissors are a little sticky. So we've cut off our excess thread in our needle. Let's do that so we don't poke ourselves. You can just kind of shape your pumpkin up a little bit like that just to kind of see how it'll look. And we've got a whole bowl here. So these ones are going to be for Caitlin's house. Do you want to use pumpkin stems? Do you want to use driftwood?
Driftwood.
You want to use some driftwood? This is a good one. Let's see. So let me take out all the little driftwood pieces. Look at that one. That's a cool one. Some of these are smaller for smaller pumpkins. These ones are pretty big. Like that one. That one's kind of. And I'll just kind of show you guys real quick what it would look like. This is with the pumpkin stem. So that's what it'll look like with the pumpkin stem. And then if you want, you know, before you actually glue them down, just to kind of sand the edges down a little bit, just to make it nice and flat. Clean off any other pumpkin gunk that might still be on there. Just kind of decide what direction you want your stem going. You know, if it's got excess stuff, then you know. So I think I'm gonna put mine going this way. She thinks she's gonna put hers going that way. So you just want to put some hot glue. You don't want too much because you don't want it squirting out around your stem, but just enough to get it. And you're just gonna hold it there for a little bit while the stem dries in place. And you guys can always add extra things if you wanna add leaves or, you know, like sequins or put on beads. I definitely suggest doing all that before you glue on the stem, or like if you wanna add feathers. Some people will add feathers. You can totally do all those things. The stem will be the last thing you want to put on. So then there you have it. Your own homemade DIY velvet pumpkins. Way cheaper than buying them from the store. Because I think a pumpkin this size is like 20-some bucks probably. So yay!
Yay! I did it!
Yeah.
I did it, and it actually kind of looks like a pumpkin.
It does look like a pumpkin.
Does it look like a pumpkin?
It looks like a pumpkin. It looks like a pumpkin. So thanks for joining me for this. I think she did a good job. Thanks for joining us for our first video for This Bittersweet Life. And if you like this video, give it a thumbs up and make sure you subscribe, because occasionally we will have more fun tutorials and other kinds of, you know, things. And make sure to check out our blog as well, link below. So anyway, just remember that life is a journey, not a race. See you guys next time.
Bye!